Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the review realm once again. We have another EP review for you for 2026. This one was as much as a surprise to us as, well, everybody, because this was a surprise release not too long ago. Before we get into what we're talking about here today, I will always introduce the co host of the review realm, the SLB himself, Sam.
Hey guys, this one I was actually I didn't even realize this was dropping. And when we were having a conversation, I think the day of, I was like, "Oh, this would be a fun one to review because this band's always a fun band to listen to. So let's just do it."
Yes, let's just do it. Let's just dive right into what we're talking about here. The surprise EP from the very notorious, wacky. It's so hard to categorize, but of course we're talking about Primus and their surprise. I don't know if we've even covered Primus before, but their surprise EP, A Handful of Nuggs.
We might have done the Desaturating 7, which was their last album in 2017. Don't quote me on that. That's a possibility. We might have done that. Um, yeah, 4 songs, 18 minutes.
Let's just dive
It's
into it.
Primus.
Yeah, this we're just a big old surprise there. They just dropped it right on their laps and just vanished. So let's get into, yeah, these four songs here. 18 minutes. So yeah, so not like about standard length for pretty much what an EP is. And our first taste of this EP, we got the old Grizz, which I said, all right, there's that familiar bass. This one was, weird. It just switches it up halfway through, and then it just goes right back to it with what Les Claypool does best.
Not that there's anything bad on this. I want to say this right out the gate, but this might be the best track. Opening track on it, it was Primus, like pure Primus.
I thought it was fine. I think what came next, well, it was a cover, but this is my personal favorite on the EP. It sounds almost identical to the original, and
Mhm.
it had a feature with Puddles Puddles Pity Party, and I said, "Holy crap." I said, "Puddles sounds so close to Ronnie James Dio here."
Yeah, he's the man. I think didn't he tour Weird Al Yankovic too? He's the clown that's
Yes.
touring right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have heard this cover before, and I think they were touring and playing it live. So I was shocked when I saw this here. I'm like, there's no way they actually recorded this. And like you said, he sounds like RJD, Dio, the man himself. And it's a pretty solid cover. It's kind of like listening to early Primus, and they're like, we're gonna do Master of Puppets in the middle of this song.
Mm.
We're gonna drop. I was it Too Many Puppies they do it with. We're gonna drop this. Like I don't think Metallica and Primus in the same boat. Same thing with Dio and but this was a solid cover. Yep.
Um, yeah, the only thing I would say about this cover is, unlike Killswitch Engage, who like put their own spin on it, and that's like one of their most like they're really notable for it now. They put their own spin on it. Primus doesn't quite put their own spin on it here. So I thought it was a decent cover, but that was my only like little gripe with it, is that they didn't really make it their own. I didn't know this was something they had done previously. I This is the first time I've heard of it.
Um, I think my take would be yes. Holy Diver by Killswitch Engaged. They added their own spin on it and it worked. But however, I always feel like there are some covers. If you're gonna do it as is, that's fine. I don't know how Primus could have made it their own without making it weird, like weird, weird.
Mm.
So to hear them in a way play Holy Diver as it was in Primus doing that, it's kind of weird. It's weird that they were playing normally.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess that's the way I was thinking of it, as well. And the next track, I didn't really enjoy this one, Little Lord Fentanyl, which apparently featured. I was wondering why it was credited as Pussifer and not just Maynard James Keenan. That's really all I heard on this. Otherwise, I was like, this is just Primus, and it just has Maynard in there.
yeah, I don't know. This is okay. So this is something I'm learning when we use the really reliable Wikipedia as I'm following it. EPs, for whatever reason, just never get their own page these days. So, like, if we go to reference an EP, I'm like, yeah, let me look at. I couldn't tell you who else was on this. I got to go digging for it. Maybe Metal Injection has it. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, in usual Primus fashion, it was on the weirder side. Not really a standout for me. And then also, uh, the last track on this, I'll say, it wasn't even. I was like, I saw Duchess in the proverbial mind spread, and that's all I could see on Spotify. I started listening to it, and I hear a crowd, and I said, "Oh, it's a live track from a song on Brown album." And I didn't even bother. I said, "All right, it's not a newly recorded piece of music. I'll just go listen to the original song," which is fine. So I was kind of bummed out that they put a live track and not something new here.
Yeah, I mean it's an EP. I EPs are weird. You can always do something. One of my favorite EPs, I don't want to stray too far, but is Dream Theater's A Change of Seasons from 1995. They have a 23-minute song that they wrote that was supposed to be on the second album, and they give it its own EP. But everything else after that's a cover, live covers, if you will. Um, mm, it's whatever. I expect this kind of stuff. EPs are just collections of stuff. It's like a compilation, a mini compilation. But I didn't mind it. Primus. Listen to Primus live is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna make too much of a gripe about it just because it was a surprise EP. Nobody expected this, and like you said, EPs are a little weird. I'm more of the route it should be all new music. I think
Uh-huh.
so, but I mean, but it is what it is. I don't think they're going anywhere. But I guess, but they did get a new drummer in the last year, so they probably wanted to showcase him a little bit, which I think they do quite a bit on the old Grizz here. So maybe that's what their goal was, just to get a little bit of music out there, just for the people.
I mean, any Primus is good Primus. I mean, like I said, we haven't heard an album from them in
Like, don't
2017.
don't you know Primus sucks?
Yeah, so tell us why we're wrong and we suck.
Yes, please tell us why the review realm sucks in the comments below. Oh, don't. Hold on. Let me get my composure back. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on the new surprise EP from from Primus. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for joining us for this surprise release, and as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.